Hi friends! This is Miss Allison. I'm excited to read with you guys today. It's been a while, and we're going to be reading a story called Here Comes That Dreamer. Joseph was a young man, and he had one brother who was younger than him, and all his other brothers were much older than him. So Joseph had 10 big brothers and one little brother. Today's story comes from the book of Genesis, chapter 37. Joseph and his big brothers took care of some sheep. Sometimes his big brothers just goofed off. They didn't do what they were supposed to be doing. So Joseph went to their father and told on them. Joseph was special to his father Jacob. Jacob really liked his son Joseph. Joseph was his favorite, and all his brothers knew it. In fact, Jacob made a special coat for Joseph. It was a beautiful coat, and it was very colorful. So colorful and beautiful that Joseph wore it all the time. So here's Jacob giving Joseph this amazing coat. And you can see his brothers all here with their arms folded. They don't like seeing their brother with that fancy coat on. None of his brothers had a beautiful coat like Jacob's. Joseph's brothers saw that their father Jacob loved him more than any of them. Their father did not make any of them a beautiful coat like Joseph's. So they didn't like Joseph at all. They were really mean to him and never said any kind words to him. One night, Joseph was asleep in bed. Let's all pretend to be asleep. Stay asleep. The next day, when he was sleeping, he had a special dream. The next day, he woke up and he went to find his brothers because he had a really interesting dream and he wanted to tell them all about it. So Joseph put on his special coat and went to find them. When he found them, Joseph said, "Hey brothers, listen to the dream I had last night. In my dream, we were all piling up wheat out in the field. All of a sudden, my pile of wheat stood up tall. Your piles of wheat made a circle around my pile of wheat and bowed down." Well, Joseph's brothers were really mad when they heard this story. And they were also mad that he was wearing his special coat. They were the maddest they had ever been. They couldn't understand why he dreamed that the piles of wheat would bow down to his pile of wheat. They asked Joseph, "Do you think you'll be in charge of us? Do you think you'll be our king?" Joseph's brothers did not like what he said at all. Well, the next night, Joseph had another special dream. In this dream, the sun and the moon bowed down to him. And then there were 11 stars in the sky, and they bowed down to him too. So in this picture, you can see Joseph sleeping, and you can see the stars in the sky, and the moon and the sun, and they're all bowing down to Joseph. When Joseph got up the next morning, he put on his special coat. He went to find his brothers. He wanted to tell them all about his dream. He wanted to tell his father Jacob too. So Joseph said, "Hey brothers, I have got to tell you about my next dream. Last night I dreamt the sun and the moon bowed down to me. And there were 11 stars that also bowed down to me." This was the dream that he was telling them about. Joseph's father Jacob said, "Joseph, you are a very special boy. But do you really think your whole family will bow down to you?" Joseph's brothers were really, really mad. Look at their faces, guys. Do you see these faces? These are angry faces. Look at, he has his arms folded. He has his eyebrows down. This guy's even gritting his teeth because he's feeling very angry at hearing the story. So, that's how they're feeling at the end of the story. I really wonder what's going to happen next. So, Joseph wore his special coat. His father, Jacob, made it for him. His brothers did not have special coats to wear, and that made them really mad at him. And also, Joseph had special dreams. Joseph's father, Jacob, kept thinking about his dreams. He wondered, will Joseph's dreams come true? Boys and girls, next week we'll find out what happened to Joseph and his brothers. Today we learned that Joseph wore a special coat. Can anyone remember who made him the special coat? That's right. Jacob made it. That's Joseph's dad. Jacob made the coat for Joseph. And can anybody remember, did anybody else have a special coat? Did the brothers have special coats? No, they didn't. You can see over here, they're all seeing Joseph with his special coat, and they have their arms folded, and they're starting to feel a certain feeling. How might you feel if one of your brothers or sisters or a special friend got something really special and you did not? You might feel sad or mad. You might even feel jealous. Joseph had special dreams. That's another takeaway from this story. What were his dreams about? Can anybody remember? I'll give you a reminder. This was the first picture that we looked at. In this dream, Joseph made this sheaf of wheat, and all these other sheaves of wheat bowed down to his. And these are all supposed to be, well, he said that his brothers had collected them. And then the other dream was when the star, the sun and the moon, maybe that's Jacob's mom and dad. I'm sorry, Joseph's mom and dad. And then the 11 stars all bowed down to him, meaning all his brothers. So that was his other dream. So we learned a lot today about Joseph's story. And one of the things that we learned about Joseph's story was that he had something that his father gave to him to show how much he loved him. And it was his special coat. So if you want to remember about the coat, you can draw a picture of a coat. This is Coral. My daughter Coral made this picture of a coat. And we also made this picture of a coat. You could just get any sheet of paper you want and draw a coat, and you could decorate it with markers or glue or crayons or whatever you want. So just remind yourself of Joseph. This is Joseph. Of Joseph's wonderful coat that his father gave him. So we're going to also do our memory verse today. Our memory verse is, we know God makes everything turn out for our good. He does this for people who love and follow him. That comes from Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And you remember that when we were at church, if we did the memory verse, we would say it probably 10 times. And we would always say it by doing a little bit of it at a time, and you would repeat after me. So let's try that right now. So, are you ready? Okay, I'm going to say it regular first. We know God makes everything turn out for our good. He does this for people who love and follow him. Nice job. Okay, then we usually would whisper it. So let's try to whisper it. Are you ready? We know God makes everything turn out for our good. He does this for people who love Wow, you guys were so quiet. Are you ready to do it really loud? My kids are sleeping, so I'm not going to do it too loud, but I'll pretend I'm doing it really loud. I open my mouth wide. We know God makes everything turn out for our good. He does this for people who love and follow him. That's you. You love and follow him, right? So God will make everything turn out for our good. Okay, we're going to say it one more time. I'm just going to say it regular. You can try to keep up with me. Maybe your mom or dad or parental figure can keep up with me. Are you ready? We know God makes everything turn out for our good. He does this for people who love and follow him. Today, we learned that Joseph had a special coat and he had special dreams. What did Jacob make for Joseph? Special coat. And how did that make his brothers feel? Yeah, they probably had a few different feelings, and one of them might have been anger or jealousy. And how would you feel? How would you feel if you were Joseph? Would you feel differently if you were Joseph's brothers or sister? I know I would feel very differently if I was Joseph or if I were one of his brothers or sister. So before we close in prayer, I want to give you a few ideas of activities you could do in addition to making Joseph's coat. You could also draw some stars and remember Joseph's dream about the stars and the moon and the sun bowing down to him. You could also draw Joseph with some sheep, because remember, Joseph watched the sheep, and what would you have Joseph wear while he's watching the sheep, right? His special coat. So these are two other ideas of what you can do if you'd like to get creative with the story of Joseph and his magic coat, his beautiful coat. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're just going to close in prayer. So, dear God, thank you that you love all of us and that we are special to you. Amen.